Welcome back to Bowl Game Radio with Bruce Binkowski and Mark Neville on San Diego's sports leader, the mighty 1090.
Welcome back, everybody, to our third segment of Bowl Game Radio here on the San Diego Bowl Game Media Network and the mighty 1090. A reminder that Bowl Game Radio is brought to you in part by San Diego County Credit Union. It's not big bank banking, it's better. And MJE Marketing. Creative, connected, and always curious. Visit mjemarketing.com.
The 10th annual San Diego County Credit Union Poinsettia Bowl returns Tuesday, December the 23rd, and the game will feature a team from the Mountain West Conference against a bowl-eligible Naval Academy. And you can bring the family for this 10th anniversary celebration. The UT San Diego Family 4-pack includes 4 plaza-level tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 sodas, and a game program for just $150. That's a great, great deal. And $1 from each ticket sold goes to Make-A-Wish San Diego. So visit our website at SanDiegoBowlGames.com or call 619-285-5061 to order your family 4-pack tickets. And, of course, if you want to order tickets to the National University Holiday Bowl 4 days later, just go on to SanDiegoBowlGames.com.
And, Bruce, the streets of downtown San Diego come alive on December 26th with the Port of San Diego Big Bay Balloon Parade, a production of the National University Holiday Bowl and sponsored in part by U.S. Bank. This exciting family event brings together world-class marching bands, magnificent floats, entertaining drill teams, and a procession of enormous balloons, more than any other parade in the country, even the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Mm-hmm. It's fun for the whole family. The Port of San Diego Big Bay Balloon Parade. Be there at 3 p.m. on December 26th.
I'm Bruce Binkowski. That's Mark Neville, and you're listening to Bowl Game Radio on the mighty 1090. Every week at this time, we talk college football, especially the San Diego County Credit Union Poinsettia Bowl and the National University Holiday Bowl. However, this is college football season, and we are very fortunate to have with us now the executive director of the College Football Playoff, Mr. Bill Hancock. Bill, thanks for joining us on Bowl Game Radio.
Well, hey, Bruce. Hey, Mark. Thanks for having me on. Good to hear your voice.
Well, it's good to hear your voice as well. Now, Bill, I got to say, it's not going to be any controversy this year. Is that a fair statement to make for the college football playoff?
You know, we didn't put in this playoff to avoid controversy. We know that people are so passionate about college football that they're going to be disappointed if their team is either not seated the way they thought it should be or not in the playoff. And frankly, I wouldn't have it any other way, but it's because it shows that all of us get to work in a sport that people care about.
And Bill, let's get to how the college football playoff came about. Now, the BCS, the Bowl Championship Series, started in 1998. Whole objective there was putting number 1 against number 2, and frankly, it did a very good job of that. Not without controversy. Now we have the college football playoff. For our listeners, briefly, tell us, what does that mean?
Well, you're right. The BCS was a great innovation for college football, and we had 16 terrific years with it. It did match up number 1 and 2 that almost never happened before, and it turned the game from mostly a regional game into really a national game that people on the West Coast, for example, had to pay attention to the Southeast. And the Southeast had to make sure they knew what happened to Boise State, and Big Ten had to follow the Big 12. So it did a lot of great things for college football. But actually 2 years ago, 3 years ago now, in the fall of 2011, as the conference commissioners who managed the BCS began to review what to do about the future, they began to wonder if they could do it differently. They heard the fans saying they wanted more football and they wanted a bracket. And over 8 or 9 months of conversation, the college football playoff evolved.
And so right now it's expanded to a 4-team playoff. Why 4 teams? And might it change down the road?
Well, we don't. It's 4 teams because the fans wanted more football and they wanted a playoff. And our goal, we heard that. On the other hand, we wanted to preserve the regular season, which is the best one in sports.
Agreed.
And we also wanted to keep the bowl experience alive for student athletes from top to bottom in college football. We end our season in college football in a unique and I think really terrific fashion with a celebration, and where the student athletes go to play in bowl games, and they're at the talk of the town. You get to experience a different culture. Bowls are terrific for this game, and they're unique, and we didn't want to do anything to diminish those.
Bill, there's going to be a lot of discussion about the top teams, but we're here in San Diego. We're in a Mountain West conference city, and you've got the top 5 conferences. Then you have the other 5, and I don't mean other in a negative way, just
the non-automatic
qualifiers. You have the Mountain West, Conference USA, Sun Belt, the American Athletic, and I'm missing one. I can't think of it. But anyway, the point is one of those 5 have to be part of these access bowls, if you will, to participate. And I know it's got to be a conference champion, and it's the highest-ranked conference champion. One of those 5 will be selected. Is that a correct statement?
Yeah, when the playoff was created, we did away with automatic qualification. But one thing that we did as a part of that was establish that every conference could go make its own bowl arrangements. And in order to provide access for those 5 conferences into the top-tier bowl games, Cotton Fiesta or Peach, as it turned out, the commissioners agreed that their highest-ranked champion would go to play in one of those games. It was unanimously agreed to by the conferences, and it really provides a great opportunity and a real carrot, the real pot at the end of the rainbow for the teams in those conferences to know that their highest-ranked champion will be playing in the Cotton Fiesta or Peach Bowl.
Now, is that the top 25, or could it go deeper? For example, if you didn't have one of these teams in the top 25, could it be in the top 30, top 35? How does that work?
Yeah, it could go deeper.
Okay.
The committee will rank 25 teams, and if that highest-ranked champion is not one of the 25 teams, then the committee will pool those champions and will evaluate those and select the one that they believe to be the best team out of those 5.
Okay, that makes sense. So and somebody probably will be upset, and somebody will not.
No, nobody's going to be upset.
But it is. I'll tell you, the interesting thing is, though, Bill, we're all talking about it, and that's what's great about the CFP. We're talking about the weekly rankings. We're talking about the other teams. We're talking about how every game matters. So, as a bowl guy, that's what we like about it, and I don't think it hurts us. I think it helps us as the Holiday and Poinsettia Bowl.
Well, and we're all in this together. All of us postseason football people, you all and us and people that manage all the bowl games, are all in this together in trying to preserve and enhance and do what's best for postseason football. And I think anything that's good for college football as a whole is good for the bowls.
You know, Bill, you just released your third poll, the third week of the poll on Tuesday. And again, little controversy there. And Oregon, who has one loss, jumped over an undefeated Florida State. How do you respond to the Seminole fans about that?
Well, first of all, everybody has to realize there's still 4 more weeks to go in the season. And the committee's decisions are based on what's happened so far in this season. And as the committee looked at it this week, Oregon's victories against quality opponents is what impressed the committee. Oregon was 3-1 against the teams currently in the top 25. Florida State's 2-0. 2 of those 3 victories by Oregon were on the road. Obviously, Florida State had 2 wins against the top 25, Clemson and Notre Dame. But overall, the committee felt like putting everything together, they just felt like at this stage, based on the results that we have to this date, Oregon is better. But again, there's 4 more weeks to go, and anything can happen. And obviously, if the season had ended today, both of them would be in the playoff, and both of them, they would have played each other.
We got to ask, Bill, what is it like in these meetings with the selection committee each week? I mean, what is the atmosphere inside behind those doors?
Well, it's tense. It's intense. This is a hard thing, but I am so proud of the committee because of the homework they do. They come to the meetings very well prepared. They watch video. They look at data. They've been watching video all season, so they have a very good handle on how the teams perform. And then in the room, the listeners could go to our website and collegefootballplayoff.com and check out the voting procedure. But basically, there's 7 rounds of voting that winds up with the committee creating the top 25. And the voting is one of the great things about the voting is that through the process, the committee identifies small groups of teams that can be compared against each other. So they evaluate these 6 teams, and they look at them side by side, upside down, sideways. They look at it and look at them every way they can, and then they will vote the top 3 out of that group go into the rankings, and then they continue that through 7 rankings until 7 votes until they get the top 25.
Is there an order of importance in terms of the criteria the committee uses when ranking the teams? For example, is strength of schedule weighted heavier than head-to-head, or even conference championships? Is that going to be a determining factor, or personal opinion? I mean, is there anything that's more important than anything else? No, there's really not. It's up to each member to weigh the criteria. And you nailed a couple of them. There's strength of schedule. What about head-to-head? How they did against common opponents, if they had any. Then, of course, conference championships won. And, of course, we won't know about that till the first week of December. And it really is the matter of combining the subjective opinions of the 12 committee members to come up with the ultimate selections.
Bill, you're the executive director of the College Football Playoff. There's a tie. Somebody's got to break the tie. Let's say for number 1 versus number 2. Do you get a vote?
Nope, I don't get a vote.
Okay.
There's a tie in the voting, and we don't have many votings. We don't have many ties. But we haven't anyway in the first 3 weeks. But it's like a jury. If there's a tie, well, maybe not like a jury. Maybe that's a poor example. If there's a tie in this, they just keep voting until they resolve it.
Okay, so you personally don't have a say in the final outcome of anything in terms of the committee?
Nope.
So, Bill, one concern I would think that you would have in the college football playoff would have, the Rose Bowl and the Sugar Bowl this year are the semifinal games. And let's just say, for argument's sake, that Arizona State is number 1 in the country. They're playing in the Rose Bowl. And are you concerned about fan travel and fans supporting the semifinal game and the national championship game? I mean, is there any concern there that we might have some empty seats at the Rose Bowl?
We are not concerned about the championship game. That will be a mega event nationally every year, and it'll be a tough ticket. We do have to keep our eyes on the semifinals. I think the semifinals will be equivalent to what the old BCS championship game was, but nobody knows for sure about that, and we're going to be watching that. The other factor, of course, in this is that many of the teams will go to a conference championship game on December 6th, 5th or 6th. And so then they'll be turning right around and going to the semifinals and then the championship game. We got to keep our eye on that. I'm confident, but I also am smart enough to know that it's something we're just going to have to watch.
And, Bill, can you clarify for our listeners, is it already determined if it's going to be 1 and 4 in the Rose Bowl or 2 and 3 in the Rose Bowl?
No, it hasn't been determined yet. 1 will play 4 and 2 will play 3. And here's how that will work. The committee will assign the sites, and they will assign number 1 to the site that makes the most sense for that school, either by geographic proximity or ease of the fans to get there, or whether or not it would be a home crowd advantage for its opponent. And I'll say that a little differently. They won't put number 1 at a home crowd disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
So then once the committee has determined the best site for 1 to play 4, then obviously 2 and 3 will go to the other bowl game.
An interesting process all the way around. Bill Hancock, Executive Director of the College Football Playoff, thanks for joining us on Bowl Game Radio. We know you're very busy, and we appreciate you taking the time to talk to us guys down here in San Diego.
Well, great to talk to you guys. Thanks for having me on.
We are going to take a break. We went a little long on that one also, but Bill Hancock is a great man and a great leader for the College Football Playoff. We're going to take a break, and we'll close things out when we return. You're listening to Bowl Game Radio on the San Diego Bowl Game Media Network and the Mighty 1090.